Good day, everybody. I'm the Tyrant fucking King, and welcome back to the Imperium. Today we are doing the second episode of The King's Court, where I'm reviewing and giving my thoughts upon Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 2. And I'm going to do a little revision for the first episode. I'm going to put it down to a high 7 out of 10, because it really pisses me off that it was short. And that all the character interactions could have been much better in that review. However, anyway, let's get right into this review. And I thought it was a perfect continuation onto that. On that point, it's a perfect continuation, episode 2. It gives us more character interactions, give us more motivations, and give us basically smarter dialogue than it was last season. Basically, it starts off with Jaime's trial, where he almost gets his head locked up quite effectively and then burned. Because, well, even with Tyrion there, he revealed that, well, the armies of the Lannisters are now bolstered by both the Greyjoys and the damn Golden Company, with no elephants. But, damn, we wanted those elephants. But anyway, let's not include that now. Basically, the Lannister army should have come up because goddamn Jaime's an idiot and he is the technical commander of the Lannister forces. But no, he's stupid. He's stupid. But anyway, it would have helped their chances out. Also, I should say last episode, goddamn, what's his name? Not Umber. What's his name? The guy from Blackwood Mont. Not the Boltons, I can't remember them. But yeah, he's dead too. Like the Umbers. Because the army of the dead, as we learn later, has reached Winterfell. Anyway, Jaime's trial only gets his ass saved by Brienne of fucking Tarth, who basically said that he'd done a lot of honorable shit for her and she would trust him with her life. Especially when he said he made an oath to his mother, to their mother. Well, not Jon's mother, but you know what I mean. So, which leads Sansa to accept it, but not trusting him at all. No, she hates him. So she's not going to trust him. Only Brienne trusts him, but she will stay with her for now because he's not, at this moment, he's useful alive, not dead. Which leads to Jon saying, yep, and begrudgingly, Daenerys also agreeing to it as well. We don't get to see the dragons in this episode, but we get to see Ghost. In one scene, doing nothing, but being a puppy. And it's good to see, and that scene's great too. I'll come back to that later. Let's move on to the next scene of importance, because the scene after that is kind of, well, basically it's just Tyrion getting himself eaten out by Daenerys. There's a scene that happens there. Let me just have a look. I don't remember the scene after that, but oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Arya goes to the forge to have a look at the weapon to see if Gendry made her a spear, which he did not. So she threatens him by chucking loads of dragonglass accurately onto a pole, scaring the bejesus out of him, and making go, I'll make that spear, my lady. Don't kill me. Basically, that's him. Also, she goes to look them over in the steam. And we all know what that means. The stag's about to mount the wolf. I think I said that last episode. I don't give a shit. Anyway, this leads on to the reunion between Tyrion and Jaime. A much more friendly reunion, where they basically are hated by everyone in the city, especially the Stark soldiers, who don't like them for joining up with Daenerys and also being Lannisters, and being the Kingslayer, and being an asshole. And then it goes on to things that were said in the last episode, including a joking reference where Tyrion goes, if I die, maybe if I die, I can march down to King's Landing and rip her up herself, filling up that prophecy by which Cersei gets killed by her little brothers. And I'm going to give my prediction on that later in the episode. And my predictions for episode 3, what might actually happen. This leads on to the scene with Brienne of Tarth and Jaime, where she basically is leading the left flank with the soldiers of Arryn, of the Vale. And yeah, they have a pleasant talk, surprisingly, which she calls him out on, saying that, look, you haven't insulted me, what the fuck? And he goes, do you want me to insult you? And she goes, no. Which indicates that he fucking loves her. No fucking shit, but that's okay. And I don't like that, because I want Tormund to be with Brienne, because I like fucking Tormund. But he is going to die, most likely. Which leads on to that scene, where Tormund and the remaining Night Watch members enter Winterfell. And he cockblocks Jon in a way where he can't hug his best friend. Besides, his other best friend. I can't remember his name, so fuck you. So yeah, he's funny, Tormund, in this episode. He's a comedic relief, and also creepy. Like creepy Bran, except not as creepy as creepy Bran, because creepy Bran is creepy. This is a scene where they get alerted that the Night King is on his way, or at least his army is on his way. Ooh, foreshadowing. Basically, says, we don't even have until tomorrow. They're coming. Anyone that's not with you now are dead. So that means those in Deepwood Mont are dead as well. So now Winterfell is rightfully and truly fucked, as the Night's Watch members would say, as they have. This goes into a scene where I'm going to skip a few scenes because I don't like them very much. But there is a quick scene where, what's his name? Mormont, the bear himself, advises Daenerys that to keep Tyrion as her hand, as though he's made mistakes, he owns his mistakes and tries to improve them. A noble aspect of him, and it's rightfully so. Which leads on to a later on scene, but it's pretty good. The bear also has a short reunion later in the episode with his niece, where she acts all cold and shit like normal. As he tries to protect her, but she has none of it and says, I chose to defend the North, so I'm gonna fucking defend it, you fucking bastard. Anyway, good luck, uncle. And walks away like a boss. Which leads into the scene where Sam gives him Heartsbane, the traditional Valyrian steel blade of the Tarlys. Because, well, what's he going to do with it? He's no fighter. Which I'm going to go back to another scene where they're on the walls of Winterfell at night. Where they basically discuss that they're truly fucked if Sam is fighting with them, because, dear lord, Sam fighting is horrible. Which leads to funny jokes, and also Ghost is there. Yay! But we don't particularly care about that right now. This leads on to a scene. No, many of these things are out of order now because I can't remember which scene comes where, because fuck me. And basically, I'm going to talk about this scene. Oh yeah, basically after they got told, all the armies went out to prepare their defenses and also test out the trebuchets. I'm pretty sure they're not counterweights, but they're trebuchets, definitely. Defending and also getting armed with the dragonglass weaponry. And it leads to another which leads to the great defense scene of how they're going to defend fucking Winterfell. Oh wait, before this, I should mention another scene. Before I enter their battle strategy, I'm going to go back to a scene where Daenerys this is after the bear scene, where he convinces her, and basically she goes to Sansa and tries to talk with her. It looks like it's going well until the topic of the North, as Sansa wants the North to be independent from the other kingdoms. However, Daenerys doesn't want to give it up just yet. And, well, it ends in a cold, wet manner. But I like that scene. Shit. I like that scene. It's pretty good. There's a whole load of tension in the air. And yeah, I think that was pretty well done. The battle scene's also done pretty well. Basically saying that we're basically meat shields. They're all meat. This is an army of meat shields that will just overrun you. And that what we have to do is target the Night King at all costs. Kill him, or at least his generals. Therefore, it can weaken the armies. However, I'll continue now. Basically, another reunion scene is with Arya and the Hound. Which happens after this, after the scene with Jon, I believe. And yeah, this scene was pretty good. It was cold, but makes sense. It shows that how these two characters have sort of reversed their roles, essentially. She's a stone-cold killer, while the Hound is more of an honorable man and a more sympathetic character, which we do like, but he's still an asshole. But Dondarrion is still an asshole, and I don't like him. I want him dead. I want him fucking dead. Which leads to a funny scene saying, where the Lord of Light... Oh, shut up. If you're going into a sermon, shut the fuck up. Because if the Lord of Light brought you back 19 times... Only it's going to question why he brought you back 19 times if you're just going to die for me chucking you over the wall. That I thought was funny. And then Arya leaves saying, I'm not going to spend my potential last night with you miserable fucks. And just leaves. And it goes into that scene where basically, goddamn, Gendry comes in and gives it a spear and those two fuck each other. Because she wants to experience it. And at the end of that, near the end of the episode during the singing scene, yeah, it looks like he's just as good as his father at it. Yep. Anyway, we're going to go into the battle scene. Basically, they just... Oh, wait, we already did the battle scene. Oh, yes, the reunions, the whole big reunion scene where, like, a whole bunch of characters there just drinking. And basically, they were drinking... Jaime knights, but the most important part of that is Jaime knights Brienne of Tarth and makes her a knight. Because another knight can make a knight. And yeah, she's now a knight. And Tormund is happy. But she doesn't want to be with him because he drinks fucking giant's milk. And we got his origin story, and it's kind of retarded. I don't want to talk about it. It still disturbs me. This leads on to a singing scene with Podrick. Which is possibly how... He didn't have to pay those ladies. Which leads on to the big reveal scene to Daenerys that she's been fucking her nephew. And, well, she kind of doesn't believe him at first. It slowly makes sense to her. And then she just thinks, you're now a challenger. You're going to claim the Iron Throne, which means she knows nothing. And that Jon never wanted to rule in the first place. So he's not going to challenge her on this. This is unnecessary drama for me, but... Regardless, the army of the dead arrives at Winterfell at the end of this scene, and before they could argue really any further, the army of the dead with the generals, but we don't actually. But it's an odd scene because we don't actually hear the dragon or the Night King, and that ends the episode. I know I wasn't the best as in the first episode, but fuck, this was a good episode. I'll give it a 7, like the last episode, because it's a perfect continuation. It's a bit too short again, but then again, I don't think it's not as bad as last time. I think it's a 7 still, but it is pretty good. And this leads on to my predictions for next episode. What I think will happen in next episode is simple. I don't think the Night King is going to be a part of the battle, and I'd have to say, I got this idea from Emergency Awesome. Go to his channel. He's fucking amazing. Yeah, Emergency Awesome. I can't remember his name, so don't even try asking. I'm horrible with names, as you can tell. Basically, he pointed that theory out to me, and I thought, yeah, right. And then it just kept clicking, that I think this might actually happen. The Night King's gonna go down the King's fucking Landing, like he said. And I know, and it's going to be during the daytime. Why? Because the army of the dead is at the north, and he is doing a bum rush, so he can't really bring the knight as quickly with him. This is going to lead to the scene which harken back to an earlier season where a dragon flies over King's Landing. A big shadow of a dragon, a singular dragon, over King's Landing. And since it's undead, those scorpion bolts aren't going to do jack fucking shit. They're not going to even kill the Night King. He's just going to wreck it. Oh shit. He's going to kill everyone there, including the Golden Company. And basically all that becomes the army of the dead, and they march north. And Cersei will become a white, where she will be killed by one of her brothers. That is my prediction for later in the season, but that's how she becomes a white, and is going to get stabbed by either Jaime or Tyrion or both. And one of them will die due to this transaction. Most likely Jaime for me. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're going to win the Battle of Winterfell. It will be a horrific victory, though. Or a very close victory. They might be able to... The dragons might be able to do damage here because the actual dragon's not there. They're going to wipe the army of the dead in the north, but sustain heavy losses. However, the Night King is bringing an even bigger army north. And he won't tire. He's going to murder, rape their asses. Ooh, it's going to be an interesting episode. Anyway, that is my predictions. And hopefully, it's a shorter episode, actually. I finally was able to get into a shorter episode, but still kind of long. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel. And always remember to hail the Imperium.